Missouri. A woman is accused of poisoning her husband with the poisonous lily of the valley plant. This plant has heart-related issues, and it's all because she had something to do with another guy, someone halfway around the world. Now, you would think that someone who works at a private Christian school would not get involved with something so despicable. That did occur here, but guess what? Get to know Sarah Sheffer, a 37-year-old art design teacher at Calvary Lutheran High School in Missouri. You'd think her life would be one of creativity and positivity, and it was, until a surprise set of circumstances happened. Oddly, Sarah became the executive director of a non-profit art gallery in the same city in 2022, drawing on her 20 years of experience within the art scene. She was obviously a woman fully entrenched in the world of aesthetics and expression. There was even a YouTube video of her featuring the interior of the art gallery. I would like to introduce art to the community, more with a community exhibit program, if we can get that going. And that would be where artists partner with the local businesses and have show space and assist them, just increase their sales and visibility. So you'd think she'd be a fantastic wife and mom, right? Well, guess what? The complete opposite happened. At the beginning of 2024, her husband, Matthew Sheffer, went down to the police station, worked up, and it's all because he was stone certain his own wife was deliberately poisoning him. This was not some B-movie moment or overboard TV show, it actually was happening. Matthew was quite obviously full of nervousness around the police station and unraveled his frightening story. On the premise of him, his wife had been secretly lacing his food with poison, subjecting him to 6 weeks of silent torment. Matthew became suspicious when he began experiencing worse symptoms after having or drinking anything prepared by his wife. Symptoms like paralyzing fatigue, confusion, distorted sight, worse than garbage cottonmouth, and nausea tormented him again and again. It was enough to terrify him to the core that he investigated further into what was occurring. On December 31st, 2023, Matthew had a lot to drink, a drink that, opposed to how it looked when Sarah had given it to him, lacked a correct taste. When his suspicions had risen, he stood up with Sarah about it. She very nonchalantly admitted to doping the drink with her urine and a pot of strong tea in it. This hideous discovery made Matthew's blood run cold, which allowed him to intervene and sort the situation out for himself. Matthew was looking for evidence, so he set up a secret camera in their kitchen. In the footage on CCTV, you can see Sarah putting some weird things in the blender while making smoothies for her husband. Surprise! One of the ingredients was lily of the valley root, a plant that's horribly poisonous because it contains something called cardiac glycosides. These chemicals will slow your heart down, and that's not healthy at all. I did some research on this plant, and wouldn't you know that many don't have any idea how poisonous it is? Despite the fact that it's so cute-looking with its pretty white bells, like a house where Tinkerbell might live, it's actually one of the most poisonous plants in existence. You can see this plant growing in Europe, Asia, and in North America, essentially everywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. It's linked to joy and even symbolizes May as the birth flower of the said month. The plant contains 38 various heart-troubling substances in every part of itself, from bulb, roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and berries. Consuming it may result in tummy aches, fuzzy eyes, slower pulse, vomit, diarrhea, and itchy skin. Who would have ever thought that something so beautiful would be toxic? Way back then, they were somewhere else. Matthew even peered at the illegally recorded CCTV footage he had happened upon something important. Matthew explained that he had noticed a bag which said "Lily of the Valley" lying unguarded on a table in Sheffer's house office. At his feet was a green bowl with what he believed was a root from the said bag. Acting swiftly, Matthew photographed this valuable piece of evidence. Thanks to the video evidence illegally recorded by the CCTV, Matthew now had concrete proof. In no time, he reported it to the police, resulting in Sarah's arrest on the same day. When interrogated by police, Sheffer made the confession, placing the lily of the valley path into the blender on purpose to injure the victim. According to law, Sarah was very well aware that this flower would easily result in killing her husband. And gaining this, Matthew scored a huge 8 times when fed by the accused or administered beverages, and each time it tasted this weird and disgusting flavor. Suddenly, soon after Sarah pulverized that potentially filthy smoothie, she just kept on placing it anyhow in the fridge. What is more unbelievable is that she did not even trouble herself to think that her 2 children would catch sight of it and drink some. No hiding or locking up, just lying around in the fridge like every other drink. But here's the catch. The motive for poisoning her husband is sheer madness. Sarah's motive for committing this deadly action is that she's dating someone all the way in Pakistan. This madness revelation is substantiated by evidence discovered in her current online searches. Prior to poisoning her husband, she had been busy conducting online searches for Pakistan flights. Fortunately, Matthew was given proper treatment and made it through the poisoning undamaged. It's a miracle that the situation did not go tragic, but this is not the first of its kind. Last year in Utah, there was a suspected case of a man's death following his wife's alleged spiking of his drink with fentanyl. Incredibly, she even authored a children's book on mourning afterwards. Court documents state that his wife tried to poison him on several occasions. He very clearly informed her that she would be the one who would be blamed in case something out of the ordinary occurred to him. And whether it was true or not, such things kept happening again. Only 6 months ago, Melody Feliciano Johnson from Arizona found herself in the same pickle as Sarah when her husband, who was employed with the U.S. Air Force, started suspecting something fishy while they were working abroad. Melody supposedly tried to poison her husband's morning coffee for months using bleach. It took a few months for her husband to realize the odd taste. After conducting some detective work with pool chemical strips, he found an overdose of chlorine in his cup. That is when he got tired and decided to take action and placed a hidden camera that captured Melody pouring something suspicious into the coffee pot. In 2018, there was another unbelievable case when Lana Clayton found her husband, Steve Clayton, lifeless at the foot of the stairs in their South Carolina home. At first, the coroner's office felt that his death could have been from a possible heart attack. But Steve's nephew, Nick French, who just so happened to also be a police officer, noticed something odd about the way Lana was acting. Strangely enough, she did not attempt to resuscitate him, and Steve's phone somehow vanished. When they did the autopsy and toxicology test on him, they discovered a foreign substance, tetrahydrozoline, in Steve Clayton's system. Lana Clayton was apprehended for poisoning her husband with eye drops, which ultimately led to his premature death. It's chilling to consider that odd things have happened more than once, revealing the ugly aspect of affairs and the unforeseen horrors which lurk behind closed doors. So, this case involving Sarah Sheffer is not exactly a new sight, but one should realize that such situations don't happen in the ordinary course and shouldn't be allowed. Obviously, whatever Sarah did indicates that she may not be in a sound state of mind right now. But considering the trauma and agony she inflicted on her husband, it becomes difficult to even think of showing any mercy against her. Once the news went around, her name and photo were removed from the school's website, saying she is no longer an employee. After being arrested, Calvary Lutheran High School informed ABC News that they received a tip from the police regarding some kind of criminal activity with one of their employees, and that employee has been placed on leave. The key point here is, whatever occurred didn't have anything to do with the school or anyone else who works there. According to John Chrisman, the big shot at Calvary Lutheran, in a statement, Chrisman said it's clear that they love all the individuals who have business with their programs, and for that reason, they handled the incident with care and tact, just like any good Christian community would. In the meantime, Sheffer had her own moment in court, proclaiming innocence confidently and claiming that she has intentions of seeking her own legal assistance. On the legal front, prosecutors are attempting to rescind her bail due to fears that she would be a threat to the public after the alleged act of poisoning. Their concern also teeters on an escape possibility, mentioning her relationship with one Pakistani man as a flight risk. At present, Sheffer remains under detention at the Cole County Jail. The judicial process will go on, with the court being entrusted with the mandate to determine the direction of the next step in her life. At this juncture, Sheffer's fate is hanging in the balance, awaiting the determination of the judicial system. The complexities of the court proceedings will decide her destiny next. Putting into perspective the uncertainty of her fate in this complicated case, The outcome of this case will not only determine Sheffer's life, but also leaves you wondering about the nitty-gritty of justice, responsibility, and chasing after truth. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments below, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more true crime videos. Stay safe.